scared me to death. You shouldn't just jump out like that. You should tell people you're gonna jump out.
You were following me again, weren't you? I'm sick of being spied on all the time.
I'm not spying on you. You always think everybody's spying on you.
I have a right to be alone.
You're supposed to be watching Stevie. Mommy said.
Mommy doesn't care. All Mommy cares about is her writing. Besides, you're supposed to give Stevie dinner, not me.
How can I give Stevie dinner if I don't even know where he is?
He's at Mrs. Tuggle's. She likes to watch him.
You make me sick sometimes.
You better leave. I mean it. I'm gonna get you, Lynn. You better watch out.
Maybe we should leave. We don't have to. Why should we? We have just as... Mouse? Where is she? She's gone. That's okay. I don't mind. But she just disappeared. Lynn, let's go. What do you say? This place gives me the creeps. But she just disappeared. Kids say Mrs. Tuggle's a witch. Nancy says that's why she likes kids so much. She turns them into witches, too. Nancy, ugh, how does she know? Maybe it's not even true. Yeah, but maybe it is. I know one thing. She gives me the creeps.
Come on, darling. I'm going to show you something fascinating. You can go and dream about it.
I have to go in there. I have to get Stevie. You want me to stay out here and watch? You want to come in with me? Someone should stay out here and watch. Watch what? Watch you go in. You're just scared of Mrs. Tuggle. I'm scared of witches. I have to go in there and get Stevie. Well, I've got to go home. See ya.
What a bright little fella you are. Now, how old are you again?
4.
Oh. And what do you want to be when you grow up?
5.
Oh, let's see who's at the door. Oh, hello, Lynn. Why, come in.
No, thank you. I just came to get Stevie.
Oh, I hate to let him go. He's so delicious.
I have to take him home now.
Oh, where's your mother?
She's at the library. She's working on a new book.
Oh, you ought to tell your mother not to work so hard.
She has to, since my father died.
Oh, yes. Well, death is a terrible thing now, isn't it?
Come on, Stevie.
Oh, goodbye, Stevie.
I miss this Coco. No. Look! It's Judith! It's loaded!
See you again, children.
Don't drop me.
Keep your back up.
Oh,
Legs straight. Come on.
Okay. Oh.
Oh.
I told you you'd drop me. Shadows glowing darkly, shining bright. Creatures of the mystery, cast your magic spell on me. What do you want now?
Nothing.
What are you standing there for?
How did you know I was standing here?
Why are you always spying on me?
Judith, how come you never see your friends? It's better than sitting around here doing nothing.
Maybe I have friends you don't even know about.
What kind of friends?
Just friends. Just friends.
Wait for that to come in.
Daddy, you want me to get that?
Would you, honey, please?
Beasley Bookstore, Marjorie speaking. Mouse, it's me, Lynn. Hi. Are you alone? Just a sec. What's wrong? Mouse, I'm scared. Scared of what? Promise you won't laugh. Laugh at what? It's Judith. Judith and Mrs. Tuggle. What about them? I have to speak to you, Mouse. Can we meet? Tonight I can. Tomorrow morning, early. Where? The usual place. And Mouse, don't say a word to anyone. About what? About it. How long have you been standing there?
Long enough.
What do you have in your hand?
Tarot cards.
What are tarot cards? Can I see one? Oh, gross. How do you play it?
It's not a game. It's a way of seeing into the future.
From what? I don't know. How can you hide if you don't know what you're hiding from? I was hiding from everything. This place gives me the creeps. Why do we have to meet here? It's the safest place. What's so safe about it? Everybody's dead. That's just the part I don't like. We're the only ones here. That's what makes it so safe. We're the only ones here who aren't dead. That's what makes it so scary. Mass, do you want to hear what I have to say or not? What is it? It's Judith. I think she's a witch. That's not all either. I think Mrs. Tuggle's a witch, too. She's got Judith under her power. That's how come she acts so weird. What are you gonna do? What do you think we should do? I think we should get away from this graveyard. I think we should learn as much as we can about witches. How? Your father's bookstore. There must be some books there on witches. How do you know Judith's a witch? It's the way she acts, the things she does. What kind of things? What do you mean? I mean lots of things, like the way she sings to herself and talks to things and stares right through a person. She sits in a room at night and does all these weird things. She reads these books and won't let me see them. She sings all these songs. That's not all either. There's more? She can float in midair without touching the ground or anything. She just hangs up there like magic. You can ask Stevie if you don't believe me. He saw it too. It was up at Mrs. Tuggle's. I swear to you. Lynn, maybe we should tell someone. Like your mother, maybe. Or my father. Mouse, what's wrong with you? If Judith and Mrs. Tuggle ever find out we know, we're done for. They can do whatever they wanted to do to us, like turn us into frogs or flies or mice or put us into some terrible foreign country like Moscow or Cleveland, take away our tongues, make us blind. Goodbye, I'm going.
They can take away your memories if they want to, so you can't remember who you are, where you came from, or how to get home.
They can do that?
They can take away your mother, too, you know, and your father if they feel like it. So even if you do get home, there's no one there anyway.
What are we gonna do?
We have to stop them somehow.
Yeah, but how? What if they steal our memories? We won't even know who they are, will we? We won't even know who we are.
We have to stop them somehow. Mommy, why do you have to go to the library every day? Why can't you work at home?
Because I'd never get a thing done, and you know it. Looks like a storm coming. Anyway, I like the library.
Yeah, I don't see why you can't write in the dining room. I don't like being here alone all day.
Alone? What about Stevie and Judith? I wouldn't call that being alone.
Mom, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Haven't you noticed anything funny about Judith lately?
I've noticed she's growing up. Fast, too.
Mom, that's not what I mean.
What do you mean?
I mean, ever since she's been going to Mrs. Tuggle's, she's been acting. I don't know, just weird. How come she has to go up there all the time?
Mrs. Tuggle is teaching her to sew. You know that. She wants to learn to make her own clothing.
She never lets me in her room anymore. I always hear these weird noises in there, too. Like she's talking to herself or something. She never talks to me anymore. She's always acting so creepy.
It isn't always easy growing up, you know.
I don't like the way she treats Stevie either. She's always bossing me around, too. How come she has to be in charge?
Because she's the oldest, that's why. Look, honey, I know it's been rough on you having me away so much. But it's been rough on Stevie and Judith, too. Someday, we're gonna have enough time and enough money to be together as much as we want.
What's that?
It's called a pinnacle.
What's a pinnacle?
It's a magic sign. Here, put one on your forehead. And you'll be magic, too.
What?
There. Now you're magic, too.
Lynn, look what Judith gave me.
What?
It's a magic sign. I put it on my forehead.
My dad says it's the best book on witches ever written. Look how big it is. Oh. And heavy. Does it say anything about babies or little kids like Stevie? Yeah, why? I just wondered. Why? I don't know. It's just that
Lynn, what is it?
the other day Stevie had this mark across his forehead. He said Judith put it on him. He said it was a sort of magic sign.
What color was the mark?
It was red.
Like blood?
Yeah.
Oh, Lynn, that's what they do. It says so right here. They mark their victims in blood.
But Stevie's her brother.
I'm just telling you what it says. I'm not saying.
What else does it say?
It says lots of things. It says they like to quench their thirst with salt, and they eat the meat of little babies and children, especially unbaptized children.
Cannibals. Mouse. I'll bet that's what Mrs. Tuggle meant when she said Stevie was such a delicious child.
She said that? Delicious?
Yes.
It says they boil babies alive, too, for the fat.
How could they do that? It's horrible.
I don't know. I guess if you're a witch, you can do anything.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, Mommy. Mommy,
Yes?
is Stevie baptized?
No.
He isn't?
No, we don't baptize in our church. We dedicate children, but it's not the same as baptism. Why?
I just wondered.
Lynn, honey, are you feeling all right? You seem a little funny lately. You sure there isn't something you want to talk about, maybe, or just get off your mind?
I'm okay.
Okay. I love you.
Night, Mommy.
Night, sweetie.
I'll put these in the kitchen against Stevie, then we can go. Stevie? Stevie? Judith? Stevie? Mouse, you gotta help me. What's wrong? Stevie's missing. He was supposed to be here. You sure he's not here? Judith's gone too. We gotta find him. Maybe they're upstairs. Judith? Stevie? Stevie? Where's Stevie? What have you done with him?
He's at a birthday party. He'll be home this afternoon. Now listen, I'm going for a swim, and I don't want you following me. Understand? Either of you.
Let's go. We'll take the back way.
Go where?
To the swimming hole.
But she told us not to follow her.
We have to follow her. We have to find out what she's up to.
Oh, Lynn, why don't you follow her, and I'll wait here for Stevie.
Mouse, we're in this together. Right to the end.
That's what I'm afraid of. The end.
Judith, get down! What is she doing?
I don't know. Looks weird.
Lynn! She did it! She brought someone back from the dead. Just the way the book said. The dead? That's what witches do sometimes. They want power over someone. They drown them. Then they bring him back from the dead. And he has to do whatever they tell him to do. He doesn't know anything. He's dead? That man is dead? You saw what she did. They drown him because it doesn't leave any marks on the body. It's horrible. Let's get out of here.
Do you feel all right?
For somebody who's just been drowned, yeah. Will you look at that?
Lynn! I'm gonna get you for this! I swear to you! I swear to you!
Maybe she gave you the nightmare. Judith? Or Mrs. Tuggle. One of them.
How could they do that?
They have lots of ways. Sometimes they make sort of a doll to look like someone in particular. Then they stick pins in it and say all those special magic words. Then the person gets real sick or scared or crazy or something. They can even kill you that way if they want to.
That must be the reason she goes to Mrs. Tuggle so much. She's learning all those magic spells. If only we could find out.
Find out what?
Find out what she's learning up at Mrs. Tuggle's. That way we could figure out how to stop them.
How can we find out? They won't tell us. We can't ask them.
We'll spy on them. That's the only way.
Spy on them?
Right.
You mean the two of us?
Right.
Together?
Right.
In person, you mean?
Mouse, what's wrong with you? What are you afraid of?
It's Judith and Mrs. Tuggle that I'm afraid of.
But that's why we have to spy on them.
But that's what I'm afraid of. Besides, it isn't nice to spy on people.
Mouse, don't you see? We have to go to Mrs. Tuggle's tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight.
Oh, I don't think we should go tonight. I don't think it's a good idea.
Why not?
I think we should go to the movies tonight.
The movies? Mouse, are you coming or not?
Do I have to?
If you're my friend, you have to.
What time?
As soon as it gets dark. I'll meet you in the woods across from the Tuggle house. You ready?
Lynn, you sure you want to do this?
Mouse, we can't turn back now. It's too late.
Okay, let's go.
Does this look all right to you?
Why, yes, child, that's quite all right. Good for you.
There they are. Let's go home.
Wait a minute. I think we've seen enough, don't you?
Look! That's one of those dolls you told me about. She's casting a spell on someone. That man, he was scary. Wasn't he? The one we saw the other day. The one that Judith brought back from the dead. He must be a warlock. What do you mean? What's that? A warlock. That's a male witch. I read all about him in that book yesterday. What do they do? The same thing witches do, I guess. Only they call themselves warlocks. Sometimes they're dead. Sometimes they're not. I guess it depends. We better work fast. We better do something before it's too late. What do you mean, too late? I mean, I have a funny feeling we don't have much time left.
What's wrong? Are you all right?
Nothing, I'm all right.
What's the matter?
Nothing, I'm all right.
Is it your stomach? I could hear you in the other room. Where does it hurt?
You know where it hurts.
Don't get mad at me. It's not my fault you eat junk food all the time. Well, let me look.
Get away from me. Don't touch me.
What is wrong with you?
You just leave me alone.
Suit yourself. I don't care. Now, do you want me to get Mom or not?
No, I want you to get out of here.
Well, fine, but if you don't want stomach aches, then don't eat junk food.
Liar! This is the worst stomachache I ever had. Except for the time I had my appendix out. I wonder what she's got against you. She's your own sister. Maybe she knows I found out the truth. We've got to do something then. Otherwise, she'll just torture us to death with that doll. Do something? Sure, but what? She's a witch, don't forget. If only we could get a hold of that doll. That's it, the doll! We'll have to steal the doll. Steal it? How? We don't even know where it is. She keeps all her stuff in Mrs. Tuggle's sewing room. I heard her telling Mother last week. You mean we're going into Mrs. Tuggle's sewing room? How else can we get the doll? But that means we have to go into Mrs. Tuggle's house. Well, of course. What about that man, that warlock? Just have to take our chances. Lynn, what if we just ran away? Now, she's got the doll. It doesn't matter how far we run as long as she's got the doll. She can do whatever she wants. Suppose we do get the doll. What do we do with it then? We bury it. Then later on we dig it up for evidence. If we're around later on. If we're alive. It's our only chance, Mouse. What else can we do? I don't know. Well, I'm ready if you are. You mean now? Today? Yes, today. What's wrong with tomorrow? Tomorrow may be too late. Today may be too early. It's now or never, Mouse. Okay, never.
To see me. Isn't this nice? Come in, come in. It's always nice to have a visit from such lovely young girls. Come all the way in, dearies. Come on. Come into the kitchen. And we'll have some cake.
Don't eat the cake. It could be poison.
Come on, girls. Come on. Now come right in here, children. Sit down, and I'll cut you a nice piece of chocolate cake. Double chocolate it is. Dark on the outside and dark on the inside. Black forest cake, it's called by some. Black Forest. Isn't that a lovely name, too? Now, here's your cake now. There. And here you are, dear. Would you like some milk with it?
No, thank you.
No? Well, enjoy it then.
It's delicious.
How can you tell, child? You haven't even taken a bite.
Oh, I can tell just by looking at it. Me too. It's delicious.
Aren't you going to eat then?
Yes, of course.
Well, good. Eat up. I'll get myself a cup of tea. You young girls eat quickly, don't you?
It was delicious. Wonderful. Great. I loved it.
Well, I've never known anyone to eat so fast.
It was just so good we couldn't wait. I ate mine in one bite.
But you had such a big piece of cake, too.
I guess we were pretty hungry.
Then you'll have some more. Here you are again. There. Something wrong?
No, nothing. It looks delicious. I can hardly wait. Me either.
Maybe you'll have some milk with it after all. I bet that's it. For goodness gracious sakes. You youngsters were hungry, weren't you? I've never seen anyone eat like that. Well, here's your milk. Oh, will you have some more milk?
No, thank you. I'm full. Me too. Well, I guess we better be going home now. Right away. Do you think we can use the bathroom, Mrs. Tuggle?
Why, of course. It's right at the top of the stairs, straight ahead.
What'd you kick me for? For being scared. I'm still scared, but now I'm sore, too. Now that we got the doll, let's get out of here. What's that? Over here. Come on, let's go.
What in the world? What happened?
What are we gonna do with it?
We're gonna bury it. Right here.
Dig.
Come on, hurry up.
I'm going as fast as I can.
they catch us, we're dead. That's deep enough, don't you think? Really? Yep. What are you doing?
Oh, hi, come in. Come on, you can help me pack.
Pack for what?
Oh, I have just had the best news. I have been invited to a writers' conference this weekend at Princeton.
Princeton?
I can't wait. 2 whole days. Do you believe it? Me at a writers' conference.
When are you leaving?
Friday evening. I'll be back Sunday afternoon as late as possible. You and Stevie and Judith can spend the weekend at Mrs. Tuggle's. That way I won't have to worry about the 3 of you.
Mrs. Tuggle's?
Yes, it's all arranged. I'll drop you off there Friday evening before I leave.
Mommy! Why do we have to stay at Mrs. Tuggle's? Why can't we stay here?
Leave the 3 of you here alone? Not a chance. You'd be fighting like cats and dogs the whole weekend.
I don't like Mrs. Tuggle. I don't want to stay there.
She's awfully fond of you, you know.
No, she isn't. She isn't, Mommy.
Oh, come on. Of course she is. What are you talking about? Besides, you and Judith are impossible when you're left alone.
I don't want to stay there, and I don't want Stevie staying there either.
You want to take care of Stevie yourself, I suppose.
Yes, I do.
Here, put these clothes on my bed, will you, honey? I want to pick out a pocketbook.
Mommy! Mom, do you believe in witches? I mean, do you believe they're real?
Absolutely not. Which pocketbook do you think I should take? Maybe I better pick out a dress first.
Mom, has anybody in your family ever been a witch? I mean, like an aunt or a cousin or something like that?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Your Aunt Lucy can be pretty obnoxious sometimes. Here, hold these for me. You can help me pick one out.
What would you say if I told you Judith was a witch?
I'd say that was just about the nicest thing you've said about your sister in years.
But it's true, Mom, it's true. Why do you think she acts so strange all the time and always wants to be alone and never wants anybody looking at her?
Because she's 16 years old, that's why. And that's a very dreamy, strange, and difficult age to be.
Mom, it's more than that. One night, Stevie and I saw her floating in midair, honest. She was in Mrs. Tuggle's house, around there by the window, without anything to hold her up, not anything. She's just hanging up there like magic. But it was scary. You can even ask Stevie. He saw it, too. And they had this doll up there, too, this voodoo doll. And there's this man, but he's a warlock. But he's dead. I mean, he used to be dead. Judith drowned him, then she brought him back to life again. And now he stays at Mrs. Tuggle's. You can even ask Mouse. He's tall and thin.
Lynn, that young man happens to be Mrs. Tuggle's grandson, Clyde. He's not a warlock, and he's not dead either. Now put those pocketbooks and those sweaters on the bed with my dresses, will you please? I have to fold the laundry.
Why don't you just say it? You don't believe me, that's all.
I'll tell you what I think. I think you and I should spend some more time with each other, do more things together maybe. Now listen, as soon as I get back from the writers' conference, you and I will...
I'm not going to Mrs. Tuggle!
Lynn!
I'm not going! I'm not going!
Lynn! Lynn! You're going to Mrs. Tuggle's whether you like it or not, do you hear me? You're going to Mrs. Tuggle's!
It says, ugh. What? Before a witch can attain her full power, she has to murder the youngest child in the family. Go on. It says they put the child outside at midnight on a night when there's a full moon, because that's when witches ride, and they'll swoop down and carry the child away. So that's what they plan to do. Put Stevie outside at midnight when there's a full moon. We'll never see him again. When's the next full moon? This weekend. I asked my father. They planned it out perfectly, didn't they? Well, they're not gonna get away with it. How are you gonna stop them? I don't know, but I will one way or another.
Oh, my keys. Judith, honey, will you get my keys? They're on the bureau, I think. Lynn, would you get Stevie, please? He's probably out back. Judith, bring my pocketbook when you come.
Mommy, Mom, look what I found. Stevie, Mommy's busy now. Why don't you let me have that doll? No, I want to show Mommy first.
Stevie, you're filthy. Lynn, will you get him cleaned up, please? Lynn, honey, you haven't seen my raincoat anywhere, have you?
I got it.
Oh, thank goodness. Stevie, look at you. I specifically asked you not to get dirty.
Mommy, you better get going. You're gonna be late, you know.
Oh, he's so dirty. I hate to send him up there looking like that.
Don't worry about it. It'll be all right. I'll clean him up as soon as we get there.
You better hurry up or you miss your train.
Let's go. Everybody ready? Come on. Stevie, I swear you are the dirtiest child I have ever seen. It's unbelievable how dirty you can get.
Mommy, can I go with Princeton with you?
Not a chance.
Why not?
Because you're too dirty, that's why not.
Is Princeton dirty?
Princeton is delightful.
What's delightful mean?
It means not dirty.
Mommy, how long will we be gone?
2 days, honey.
Will you bring me a present?
I'll bring you 2 presents, sweetheart. 1 for each day I'm gone.
I'll miss you, Mommy.
I'll miss you, too.
Mommy, don't forget my present, okay?
Isn't this lovely? 3 lovely children come to stay a night or 2. Come in, children. Come in. Have such a good time. I have some new toys. Yes, what do you suppose I have?
Now listen, if anything happens and you need me, or you just want to talk to me, I left the phone number of the writers' conference by the telephone. I'm sure everything will be just fine. But the number is there if you want to call me, okay? All right?
Mommy!
Mrs. Morley, you better hurry or you'll miss your train.
You know where to reach me if you need me.
Mommy!
Darling, say goodbye to your mother. We wouldn't want her to miss her train, would we?
Goodbye, honey. Goodbye, Mrs. Tuggle.
Goodbye, Mrs. Morley.
I've just had about enough. You're always into my things. Always. I'm warning you, Lynn. You'll be sorry for this. I mean it. You're gonna be sorry!
You can have it, Bob, if you want. Listen to me. Listen. Judith she isn't feeling so good. She might try to do some very strange things. I want you to listen to me. Don't go anywhere with Judith. Just stay where I can see you all the time. And if she does seem to do some very strange or funny things, you tell me, okay?
After Mrs. Tuggle on her hurt us.
No, don't tell Mrs. Tuggle, Stevie. Just tell me. Do what I say, Stevie, please.
I wish Mommy was here.
So do I.
Mrs. Tuggle, what's a brownie?
Oh, a brownie, is it? Well, now, you know, it's a kind of boggle. A funny little elf with pointy ears and hair all over.
Is it a person?
No, it's more like a magical creature.
Is it bad?
Well, that depends upon the way you look at it. Now, if you had a treasure and you were going to bury it and you sprinkled lamb's blood over it, the brownie would watch it for you and frighten everybody else away. Now, that's not so bad, is it?
Who kills the lamb?
Well, I suppose whoever buries the treasure.
Is it me to kill the lamb? I think it's me to kill the lamb.
Oh,
So do I.
do you now?
Do we have some candles, I hope?
Oh, yes, child. In the kitchen, in the cupboard above the oven.
I'll get some.
I go with you.
All right. I'll wait here then. And keep an eye on the little ones.
I don't like the dark, Mrs. Tuggle.
Oh, we'll have some candles in a minute, child.
How come the lights were out?
It was a storm, child.
Maybe we should call my mommy.
Yes. Oh, call your mother, is it? How could your mother help you now, as far away as she is?
We could call her at least.
Yes, you could. But it wouldn't do you any good now, would it? It wouldn't stop the storm or drive the darkness out. Ah, well, now we have some light. That's better. Well, goodness gracious, when you look at those two, scared to death, aren't you? Well, it's only a storm, and not the worst one I've seen either. I remember once when I was a girl, it was in the winter time it was, and a storm came in off the Hebrides that shook the house to the very ground. I never thought I'd see the light of day again. Oh, what a wind! Thunder and lightning. It was as if the very demons themselves were shrieking outside to carry me off. Howling, howling.
From the shadows of the night, glowing darkly, shining bright, creatures of the mystery, cast your magic spell on me.
Suck the honey from my lips. Dance upon my fingertips. When the darkness tolls the hour, I shall have you in my power.
Fast upon us, spirits all, listen for our whispered call. Whistling kettle, tinkling bell, weave your web and spin your spell.
I love that poem. All those old poems, I love them all.
Aye, they're beautiful. Beautiful and strange. Bat, bat, come under my hat, and I'll give you a slice of bacon. And if I bake, I'll give you a cake, if I am not mistaken. Here comes a candle Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Oh. Good to have the number anyway.
You've got it all figured out, don't you?
Lynn, what's wrong with you?
She's upset, aren't you, child?
I'm taking Stevie upstairs. He's sleeping with me tonight. He's afraid.
All right, darling, you take Stevie to bed with you. Go ahead. It's all right. Take Stevie.
Listen, Stevie, if anybody comes in during the night, just shout as loud as you can. I'll be awake, but do it anyway, okay?
What about if I'm asleep and they come in?
They might try to pick you up or wake you or take you somewhere. If they do, just shout, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna put you to sleep, and I'll be over there, okay?
It's getting late. I'll go check on them.
Yes, check on them. That would be nice. Very nice. Are they asleep yet?
Lynn's asleep in a chair. I think we should move Stevie into his room so that Lynn can go to sleep in her own bed.
Well, why don't you take Clyde and do that, and I'll finish up down here.
Okay, let's go.
Stevie, you get her to bed.
want us to do?
I want to call my mother. Why don't you let me?
You can call your mother, sweetheart. There's the phone right there. I'll even tell you how to get the number if you like.
It's a trick, isn't it?
No, sweetheart, no trick. There's the phone. Pick it up and use it. Darling, it's all right. Oh, dear. Oh, darling. Now, calm down. Dear heart. It's all right. It's going to be all right. It's all right. It's all right. Calm down. It's all right. It's going to be all right. Yes. Yes, what is it? What's wrong? No. Yes, of course. I'll be there as fast as I can. I'm leaving right now.
All she needs is a good night's sleep. She'll be all right.
Poor thing.
It can be pretty rough. Sometimes kids deal with these kinds of anxieties in some pretty strange ways.
It's mostly my fault, really. I've been so wrapped up with my writing, I've pretty much let everything else go, I guess.
Well, you have to earn a living, right?
Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it.
Of course it's worth it. Don't be silly.
I'm worried about her.
Looks to me like she needed some attention. And frankly, she got it.
She should have gotten it sooner.
Kids are pretty resilient, you know. They snap right back in a hurry. You give them the right kind of time, attention, affection. She'll be all right, you'll see.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it.
And you know where to reach me if you need me.
Right.
I'm sure everything's going to be all right.
Thank you, Dr.
And how is she now, the poor dear?
She's sound asleep.
Oh, that's the best thing for her, isn't it?
Is she okay, Mommy? She's fine, honey. She just needs some time to sort things out, I guess. That and a couple of days' rest.
Oh, she's had a hard time, poor child.
She's given you a hard time, too, I'm afraid. I guess you know how sorry we are about all this.
Don't think anything more about it, Mrs. Morley. She's only a child and a bit mixed up is all. Why, you know how it is. All of us find it hard at times to tell the difference between what we imagine and the way things really are.
Well, I am sorry, Mrs. Tuggle. I really am. I hope you'll give us a chance to make this up to you somehow.
I have an idea. Now, when she's better, you have her come over to my house for a bit of homemade chocolate cake. And in that way, she and I can become good friends again. Over a piece of cake and milk. Yes.
Sure, it looked terrible to you, but it was only the storm. Telephone lines were being knocked down all over the county that night.
I feel so stupid.
Don't feel stupid, please. It was just a mistake. Besides, from your point of view, everything looked so real, I suppose. I mean, you saw Judith floating in midair. How were you supposed to know they were dancing up there? When she stuck the pins in the clothing doll, you got a stomachache. So naturally, you thought she had done it. And then, when you and Mouse saw Judith raising Clyde from the dead, you really thought he was dead.
But it was just a game, though.
You didn't know that. It looked real to you.
Judith must hate me.
No, she doesn't. She loves you very much. Besides, the only thing Judith really cares about these days is Mr. Clyde Tuggle. Everything else is secondary.
Mrs. Tuggle! I forgot about Mrs. Tuggle. I was so so mean to her.
She understands. She was a little girl, too, you know. She knows what it means to have a vivid imagination.
I don't think I can ever look her in the eye again. What am I gonna do?
Why don't you just tell her how sorry you are, and we can put this whole thing behind us forever? You can go up there tomorrow if you like and pay her a visit.
Is she very mad at me?
No, she isn't, as a matter of fact. I think she's planning to bake a homemade chocolate cake especially for you.
Mommy, so sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Everything is going to be all right. It's all over now. It's okay.
Mouse, what's wrong with you? We have to go to Mrs. Tuggle's. How else can we apologize to her?
We could send her a letter.
I can't believe you're still afraid of her.
I'm not afraid of her. I just don't want to see her.
Why?
Because she scares me.
She's not scary when she knows she's not a witch.
The other day she was a witch.
That was the other day.
One day she's a witch, one day she isn't a witch. Suppose we get there on the wrong day.
Now she's not a witch. She's a nice old lady.
Lynn, how do you think you become a witch anyway? First you become a nice old lady, and then you get promoted.
Mouse, don't you want to apologize to Mrs. Tuggle?
Yes, of course I want to apologize. Of course.
Good.
On the telephone.
Mouse, that's rude to apologize on the telephone.
Okay, then I'll apologize twice. Once for calling her a witch, and once for being rude.
Mouse, Mrs. Tuggle baked a homemade chocolate cake special for us. We have to go up there.
Suppose it's a trick.
What kind of trick?
A homemade chocolate cake trick?
Are you coming up with me or not?
Oh, wait, right here.
Mouse, witches aren't even real. Don't you know that?
I know that, and you know that. But I wouldn't tell Mrs. Tuggle that if I were you. Because if you do, she'll turn you into a frog.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right here.
If I'm not right back, that means you should come and get me.
If I'm not here, that means I went for help.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. And in that way, she and I can become good friends again. Over a piece of cake